I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I feel like I'm on top of the world.
Disclaimer, you will not be transported to the top of the world. In the unlikely event you find yourself at the Arctic Circle, seek shelter from the elements immediately to avoid frostbite and or hypothermia. Geico will not be responsible if you find yourself in a cave or crevasse with a lonely abominable snowman, who in all likelihood will force you to play games including but not limited to Go Fish, charades, Chinese checkers, or his personal favorite, Red Rover, send Yeti on over. Geico is not liable for any damages, either physical or emotional.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Archangels, ghosts, and Bigfoot. Oh my. It's just another night for Supernatural Girlz. Real stories, real answers to life's biggest supernatural mysteries. And now for another exciting interview with paranormal experts from this world and others. Here's your host, paranormal researcher Patricia Baker, on the one, the only Supernatural Girlz.
Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of Supernatural Girlz Radio. I'm your host, Patricia Baker, and I am here with my co-host all the way from Tucson, PK. PK, how you doing tonight?
Oh, outside of having a nervous breakdown, I'm doing great.
All right, a nervous breakdown, and you're doing great. How can you beat that?
Well, I just figured it's a new year. Why not do it differently, right?
I think so. Just be all-inclusive, you know? That's what it's about.
Exactly.
Accept it all.
Exactly. We're going to do it till we do it right.
That's right. We're going to do it all till we do it right. Hey, that's great. So let's start by wishing everybody a Happy New Year. We're in a new year. We're in a new everything. This is exciting.
Yes, it is. And very, very important that we have this brand new beginning around us.
Yes. Well, PK, tell us, what do the numbers have to say?
Well, this month is a 2-month. The 2-month is all about partnerships, relationships. You may have a bit of a sparring bit with your partner or spouse, but you can equally have a love fest with somebody else. And it brings people to the apex and then drops them right back down again because everybody's trying to make sure they can do it all at one time. Doesn't work that way. Your sensitive side's going to take control if you don't allow it to get what it really needs. And that means being considerate of other people, taking time and care for what's happening around you. There's a lot of things going on about relationships this month. That's going to be all month long, whether you like it or not. And today has been all about family type situations, everybody wanting it perfect, maybe taking another look at diets and how they want things to go. So tomorrow when you wake up, because you're going to be exhausted from trying to sleep all night because you're going to toss and turn, trying to figure out what's going to be a better way to go because the mind won't shut off. But by tomorrow night, you're going to be very, very happy just to fall into bed and let it go. How's that going?
Good. I like that. Yeah. Now, talking about diets, I had a chocolate-covered gluten-free donut today.
Ooh, that
and
sounds
let me tell
good.
You, it was. And then you know what I did? I had another.
You had a second one?
That's right. I did.
I could tell you had the.
See,
had a
I'm
twofer.
so happy. This is why.
We need to keep you sweet, honey. That's all there is to it.
Well, it was easy to do with those gluten-free donuts. Let me tell you.
Nice. That is so nice.
They're good. Yes. Well, we've got a lot going on our Facebook page. So if our audience members haven't been there yet, you guys need to go because we've got some really unusual stories up there. Give us a like while you're there, please, on Facebook and follow us on Twitter as well. But let me tell you what's on the Facebook page so you can get all excited.
Mm-hmm.
There is a photograph of a demon walking down the street in Chicago. Now, I'll tell you something. I showed this picture to a lot of people, and they all got freaked out, had chills. They were just like, oh, my God. No one who saw it thought it was a fake either, which was interesting. So you can see the horns coming out of the head. This thing is enormous, big, big wings. So go take a look at Supernatural Girlz on Facebook. You'll be amazed. I want to know what you guys think. So make sure you send us an email or send us a message in the chat room, or just put it on our Facebook page. I want to know what you think about it, because it's a very cool picture. And whoever doesn't think demons don't walk the earth, they do. Here you go.
Hey, the way things have been going in Chicago this last year or so, everybody knows there's demons there, for God's sakes. The highest kill rate, it's just been horrible.
It's been horrible, but yet they claim it's a sanctuary city. Oh, give me that.
For what?
Yeah, sanctuary for what? That's the question.
Gosh,
really.
Scary.
Crazy.
Absolutely scary.
You know, and I heard something so funny. I was reading the article, that interview with Julian Assange and Hannity, and they wrote up a whole bunch of stuff about it. And one of the things they said, Julian Assange said that Podesta's emails could have been hacked by any 14-year-old. Now, do you know what Podesta's password was?
What, birthday?
No, password.
Oh, for God's sakes. Oh, Lord.
Prayer to God.
Oh, yes. God, help us.
I know it. There you go. There you go. Can't fix stupid.
No, you cannot. We've got a lot of that floating around this year. And it's only 4 days old.
Well, we're draining the swamp, though, PK.
I know, but my feet are getting muddy.
Yeah. I got a good laugh out of that one. I thought it was hilarious.
That's funny.
Now, UFOs are being spotted everywhere lately. Mm-hmm. Lots and lots and lots of sightings. There's been reports of black helicopters running after these ships. It's been one after another all over the world. Now, I also posted on our Facebook page a UFO spotted over Random Island. So everybody take a look there. It's a really incredible photograph. And a Canadian man photographed it over Random Island, which is in Clarenville, Newfoundland, Canada. Chad Haynes is his name. He said he never, ever believed in UFOs or aliens. But after witnessing this craft near his home, he cannot explain what else it could have been. So he was deleting some old images off of his camera a few days before Christmas to make space for Christmas morning when he stumbled across the photos he took actually in 2016.
Almost a year ago. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's reviewing the photos, and there this thing was. He has no explanation for what it was. He said the craft stayed in the same spot before it moved up and down quickly and then shot out of sight. He said it was far too big to be a drone. So he couldn't believe it, but apparently there have been so many UFO sightings around Random Island over the years. Mm-hmm. Even the old-timers hockey team call themselves the Clarenville UFOs.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
So
way to go, guys.
That is right. So, yes. So that's what we got here. We've got a lot of UFOs happening everywhere.
Well, weren't we told that something's going to come and manifest itself out this year, because so many people have been talking about it for so long, that there's this feeling from different ones we've spoken to that there's possibly some information that will be finally laid out this year, so it will be more acceptable or more believable by the masses, as opposed to the, gee, what do you think you saw?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what we're being told. Now, disclosure from the government, though, is highly unlikely. And remember, we had Jim Mars on not too long ago for half an hour of his time. And Jim did share with us that he didn't think it was going to come from the government either. He said this is going to come from the aliens themselves. I think he's right. Don't you?
Well, the way things are going, we're getting a lot of show and tell, but we're getting nothing from Washington.
That's right. And I think we'll get a lot more show and tell. And tonight, we are blessed because we have someone coming on our show, Cassandra Vanzant. She's an ET Communicator, which I had never heard of, so I'm thrilled because it's something new for me. And she's also an author of Coming Out of the Coma, Star Family Messages, and she's also created her own deck of message cards with ET drawings and paintings. They're just beautiful.
They are. And very interesting. It really makes you stop and think when you're looking at them.
It does. It's like you're looking at subconscious imagery when you see these pictures. So anyways, Cassandra is going to be with us, and we're going to get down to brass tacks here about messages from the ETs. What are they trying to tell us, if anything? So we're going to hear from Cassandra on that. And out in our audience, if you have questions, if you want a message from the ETs, then write it down in the chat room. We'll ask Cassandra on your behalf, or you can give us a call at 888-919-2355. Again, that is 888-919-2355. We're always happy to hear from everybody that is interested in this terrific subject, which we feel we're on the cutting edge with, especially tonight with our guests. So we got to get into this. And PK, you're going to get a reading, I hear.
Wow, can't wait.
Because Cassandra is not just an ET communicator, she's also a psychic. So we have a great show in store for everybody. But let's get Cassandra on the show with us. So here we are, a night of ET communication. Cassandra, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Patricia.
And welcome to you, Cassandra.
And you too, PK.
Thank you.
So tell us you've had a very exciting life, quite the adventure. But it sounds like it started with something very challenging, going through a windshield.
Yeah, that'd do it. That will wake you up, or as in my case, it actually had me die. And this was the beginning of where I am now. So when I did that, when you have a close encounter with a windshield like that, and then you're lodged underneath the dash of the truck and you have to be cut out of the truck in order to be rescued, there's a lot of trauma involved. So needless to say, I didn't last long. I mean, I do remember hitting the windshield. I do remember waking up briefly at the hospital. And when I did wake up briefly at the hospital, there was a sheet over my head and I was alone in a room. And when I did that, I just let my spirit go. I exhaled my spirit and it came out my mouth. And when that happened, I knew I had died. I knew I was dead. So I turned around and kind of looked at my body and, shrugged it off. And then I started to ascend. So I started going through the different floors in the hospital. And then I came out on the rooftop. It was nighttime. And I looked up at the stars and the clouds, and I was just looking up and looking at this beautiful scene. And I remember thinking to myself, again, I was in an ethereal body, a ghost-like body, and I thought to myself, I want to be there. And as soon as I said that, guess where I ended up? I was there. I was in the clouds, in the universe, however you want to put it. And I am there and I'm looking around and I know that I'm dead. So I immediately start asking, okay, God, I know I'm dead. Where are you? And when I was asking these things, again with my mind, telepathically, out from my left side, I believe it was, a person walked out of a door. Okay, so it just kind of appeared. And this person walks out of a door and it looked like a regular person, an older man. And he said, could we talk to you for a minute? And I said, okay, but remember I'm dead and I have to go find God. And he goes, that's okay, let's talk to you. So I went inside of a room, for lack of a better word, and I spoke to this person, and this person was my spirit guide. When I spoke to him, I cannot remember any of the conversation that took place, but I know that I spoke to them, and then I went to the next person there, and that was my angel. Had the same kind of conversation with my angel. So I feel that it was like they were giving me messages, letting me know, what's going to be going on. I don't know. I'm just assuming this, but it feels right. And then when I was done with my angel, I walked over and there was an ET there, my ET. So I did the same thing, got a message from my ET. And then I said, okay, well, I still have to go. I know I'm dead. I have to find God. And go ahead, you're ready. So I went out, and I'm still looking, and I'm ascending more, and I'm, calling out, saying, okay, God, I'm dead now. Where are you? and I it was just like a never ending, here I am. And when I was ascending more, I saw a emerald green tunnel, and I thought, oh, this is beautiful. So I started going through this tunnel, and this tunnel, the wave of healing, of love, of being enveloped in something that was just absolutely wonderful, just circled me. So I'm going through this tunnel, and I'm all along asking the same question. I get out of the tunnel, and then I finally see this brilliant, brilliant white light. So I start going towards this white light, and I get to the top, or where it started, and I go into what I call an energy, a white light energy. And this white light energy was God, or the God source. And I had a conversation with God, which of course I'm not privy to either. So whatever it is that we were talking about, all of that was, I was given amnesia as far as that goes. But I do remember, the only words that I remember about this whole conversation was I had asked if I could stay. And when I asked if I could stay, I heard not yet. And as soon as I heard not yet, I was back in my body. Wow. So I'm back in my body. I it's like I slammed into it because I jumped. And that's when a nurse was walking by and saw that. And then, the rest of it was, sewing me up and putting me back together and sending me home. So that I actually stayed the night in the hospital, believe it or not. And then the next day I was sent home. But
that's fast after such a major accident like that.
It was, but, they just wanted to make sure that the stitches that I had in my head, because my head was split open, were everything was good, and the bruises and the bumps and all of the other things that had happened to me were okay. So, the concussion, of course, I was fine, in their eyes. And then I went home, and that's when everything began. And it was telepathic communication.
Now,
and I
before
didn't
you go into that. Let me just ask you a question, because Paula from our chat room has a good question for you. She wants to know, what were your religious beliefs and practices before this experience?
Good question.
Before the experience, I was religious. I went to a non-denominational church. I believed in God. I was very. Wasn't fundamental, but I was, trying to walk a straight and narrow. I had, found myself again. I had, teen years, I'd gone through drugs and alcohol, and then I went into the religious experience. But that is basically where I was. So I was still I wasn't practicing. I wasn't going to any kind of church at the time, but I was still very much knowing that there was a God. And I didn't know any of the other things that were going on. I really didn't know about spirit guides, and I had no clue what ETs were. Angels, of course, I knew about angels, but I didn't know you could actually talk to them.
Now, how did you know that? Okay, so you saw your spirit guide, you saw your angel, but then you saw your ET. What did it look like? How did you know it was your ET?
Well, when this whole experience, of course, it happened about 28 years ago, but it seems like it was yesterday because it's something you never, ever forget. So when I was looking at this person, it's what you look. I don't want to say it's a stereotypical type ET. It wasn't a gray. It was a being that was very powerful but kind. And it did not look like a human. Let's put it that way. It didn't look like an angel. It didn't look like the spirit guide. It had a different form to it. And besides that, I knew that that was my ET. I don't know if I called it my ET at the time or my alien. I don't know if I did that. But I just knew that that was the other part that I was supposed to meet.
Okay, that's very
fabulous.
interesting. Yeah, that was so interesting. So you get home.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're still married at this time?
Yes.
And so you get home and everything starts in this communication from the other worlds?
Yeah, it was all telepathic, and it happened. My husband at the time, I told him, I said, I died, and this is what I saw, and he didn't want anything to do with it. He didn't want to hear about it. It scared him. He was the one who caused the accident, so maybe it was a guilt thing. But he did not want to know anything about the experience. So when I told him about it, and he didn't want anything to do about it, I'm recuperating, and I'm sitting there, and I start hearing in my mind conversations directed toward me. And I start speaking with my mind back to whoever's speaking to me. And of course, the first thing I'm asking is, who's talking to me, and, what is it that we need to do? I wasn't afraid. It was very natural, extremely natural. I would go to my angels and my guides every single day. I'd have conversations all the time. You'd look at me and I'd be having a conversation, but you couldn't tell. But I would go to them and ask them questions and get the answers, see what was going to go on in my life or what it is I needed to do. And that, of course, when I had that experience, I was very upset that I came back to Earth. Okay, I don't know if I told you that or not, but the minute I slammed back into my body, I was mad because I did not want to be here. I mean, when
people say that.
Oh, yeah, when you experience that and then you slam back into this, and all the hurt comes back, and the pain, and I knew every single cut and bump and bruise that I had on me. When I was out of my body, it was totally free and unburdened, and I was light and I was airy, and I could go anywhere I wanted to with just a thought. So when I was here, I would be asking, why did I come back? That was my biggest question. You better give me a good reason, because I don't want to be here. Yeah. I went into a lot of depression. Of course, when I knew I had experienced that, I wanted to keep that. So I went into a lot of depression. So I had to ask, why am I here? You better give me a good reason. And then I started to get involved. A good friend of mine got me involved with the tarot. And with the tarot cards, it was bringing all the subconscious out, using the cards. And I would learn more about why I was here and what I was supposed to be doing, along with asking my guides and my angels at the time. So again, my guides and angels were a big part of the telepathic communication for a good, 10, 15 years. The ET communication did not start coming through, and that, out in the open, or that I actually knew about, until about 5 or 6 years ago. And when that started coming through, I would just all of a sudden start talking this language. Of course, I was by myself, and I would I'd break out into this language. And when I would do that, I thought, well, that's interesting. But after I did it, then whatever it is I needed in my life at the time would come to me. So I finally put two and two together, is again, I knew that this was coming from the ETs because the telepathic communication, because I'd say, who is this and why am I doing this? But when that came through, the language came through, they were giving me the words to get what I needed at that time. So it was a prayer, or it was, a supplication, whatever you want to call it. It was coming from the innermost part of my being and saying, this is what I need at this time. So there were no manipulating words. There was no flattery. There was no, anything like that with words. This was pure communication. And that's when I started to say, okay, now we need to get on with this a little bit more. And I didn't let anybody know that I did this. I mean, that was no way would I let anyone know that. With the tarot and the readings, of course I would, because people would come to me for readings. And then I could, again, connect with those people that would help my clients with their answers because of the telepathic communication. So in essence, this whole thing opened up that telepathic communication to where I could just contact or connect with their guides or angels, people who've passed over. I could connect with them and help them that way. But the ET language, the talking with the aliens was kept very, very quiet until one day. And I didn't know that this was going to happen, but a friend of mine, and maybe your listeners have heard of her if they are interested in the ET experiences. It's Cynthia Crawford. She's called the ET Sculptor. She was a friend of mine, and I told her, I said, I want to give you a reading with these cards that I have. Now, these weren't my cards. These were some cards that I had seen, and they had an ET motif on it. So I thought, I'll give her a reading with this. And she said, okay, not a problem. So the day of the reading, I thought, well, I'll give her this reading and see what she thinks. And then I was told, you're not going to use those cards. What you're going to do is you're going to give her a message in the galactic language, and then you're going to translate it. We're going to translate it. I don't do anything. And I said, no, I'm not. So, because it was my little secret. But They had asked, they said, will you do this? And I said, okay, fine, I'll do it. So Cynthia called me, and we set up for the reading, and I said, now this is what I'm going to do. And I told her what I had gotten. And she said, fantastic. She said, let me get my recorder. So she got a recorder, and she recorded it. And that was the beginning of me doing Star Family messages for other people, starting to draw their Star Family images, writing the books, and doing the cards. It all started with that.
Gosh.
Fascinating. How fascinating.
Yes. What an experience. And now, did you get rid of your husband at the time who caused the accident?
Yes, I did.
Good girl.
Yes, I did. And I thought it was really funny, too, because this is how very dependent or codependent I was on this. When I got back from the hospital, he says, I'm sorry. And I said, that's okay. Just don't do it again.
God love you.
I know. Could I just put a bullet in my head? Yeah. But I thought, that just suddenly dawned on me now that, oh my gosh, he just killed me. And I just said, that's okay. Just don't do it again.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. I know. Everybody pick your jaws up off the floor, because that's where I was to where I am now.
That's the old you.
Yes,
You
that's
have
the old
all
me.
you
Yes.
that has gone now. That's amazing.
Totally gone. Yes.
Wow, okay. Well, we're going to take a short break in a minute and continue this very exciting conversation. We've got more questions coming out of the chat room. Again, if you want to call in and get an ET message from Cassandra, then you need to call. And the number is 888-919-2355. That's 888-919-2355. And you can also join us in the chat room, irnchat.com, irnchat.com. Again, take a look at our Facebook page, Supernatural Girlz with a Z. We've got some great stories there, and we want to share them with you. So buckle up, everybody. It's going to be a fun ride tonight with Cassandra Vanzant. We will be right back.
Listening to IRN, the Inception Radio Network, Chicago, Illinois.
You didn't forget what's coming up tonight, did you? Hi, Inception Radio Network listeners. This is Amanda. Never miss that interview you were looking forward to or the show on your favorite topic. Follow IRN on Twitter, I_R_N, and get reminders about the evening's live shows as well as fun and important updates throughout the week. That's I_R_N, and never miss a great show again.
My name is Ezra, and I'm from thehighend.org. You've heard of medical marijuana, but who can you trust for proper guidance? Here at thehighend.org, we have all the information you need. Did you know that scientists have discovered cannabis can reduce inflammation, pain, and spasms? It's helped my patients reduce the symptoms of autoimmune diseases, PTSD, autism, and insomnia. A compound from hemp called CBD is doing wonders for intestinal issues, anxiety, and the nervous system. I sell this compound at thehighend.org. I've worked as a medical marijuana consultant and educator for the past 6 years, and here at thehighend.org, I can help you choose from the hundreds of cannabis strains and products and find the ones that are best for your needs. To learn more about cannabis, schedule a Skype or phone consultation, or to have a CBD product shipped right to your door, visit thehighend.org. That's thehighend, all one word, .org. I'll help make your health high-end.
Hi, can you hear my voice? Imagine how many other people can hear it too. If you have advertising needs, then look no further. The Inception Radio Network currently has openings for on-air advertisements and radio show sponsorships. Given any thought to your target demographic? Inception has you covered there too. Advertising on a network gives you multiple opportunities to advertise on a wide variety of radio show broadcasts, and we have one to fit every advertising need. You know, in recent years, internet radio has exhibited a phenomenal listener growth. An Arbitron Edison survey shows that online radio boosts at least 33 million unique visitors each week and 54 million each month. And that number amazingly continues to grow. And these listeners are a part of many businesses' core demographics. And surveys have shown that internet radio listeners are far more likely than regular radio listeners to spend money on a whole range of activities. You know, internet listeners vote, they dine out and eat fast food, and they grab a cup of coffee. And here's the interesting one. They buy items online at a much higher rate than all other market segments combined. Internet radio also enables businesses to connect with consumers during work hours, where increasingly more lifestyle decisions are being made. Advertise with the best. The Inception Radio Network offers competitive advertising rates to fit just about anyone's advertising budget. Stop by today at www.inceptionradionetwork.com or call us toll-free at 1-888-919-2355. Get the word out. Get results with the Inception Radio Network.
Are you a fan of Inception Radio Network? Do you reckon it's the best alternative talk radio station on the planet? Well, if you do, head to facebook.com/Inception Radio Network and like the page. Tell your friends, spread the word, and keep listening to the best.
Hello, Inception Radio Network listeners. This is Amanda. Remember, you can take your Inception Radio shows on the go. Just download the Inception Radio Network app for your iPhone, iPad, or Android smartphones and access live shows, past shows, guest lineups, and much more. Just visit the iTunes Store or the Google Play Marketplace and download it today for free.
Your property tax bill. Have you seen it lately? It's frightening. Your property taxes are going up while your home value is going down. It's time to fight back and win. For the real truth about the property tax system, get attorney Pat Quintilian's book, Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Attorney Quintilian answers all your questions and gives you the facts you need to fight a property tax bill that is spiraling out of control. You'll also read about what happens to property owners who don't check their property records, only to find out too late they're taxed on square footage, fixtures, and even buildings that they don't own. Is this happening to you? Learn your rights. Buy attorney Pat Quintilian's book today. Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Available on Amazon.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to Supernatural Girlz Radio. I'm your host, Patricia Baker, and I am here with my co-host, PK, and our terrific guest, Cassandra Vanzant, and we are talking about near-death experience, psychic abilities like clairaudience and telepathy, two of my very favorites, and ET communication. We're talking about all kinds of great things tonight, our favorite topics.
That's for sure.
Yes, we love this stuff. We do. So I know, Cassandra, you have the remarkable ability to be many things, a psychic, telepath, clairaudient. Now, we did promise PK a reading. Would you be able to do that for her?
Sure.
I'll do a short reading for you, PK.
I'm excited.
Okay. PK, what is it that I could help you with right now? Did you have anything specific that you wanted to focus on? What is going on with you?
New beginnings.
New beginnings. Okay. All right. Hold on for just a second.
And while she's doing her thing, we'll talk about how great it is to have someone as talented as Cassandra on the show. Now, if you guys want to have a reading and or an ET message tonight, just call us up, 888-919-2355, or come to the chat room at irnchat.com. irnchat.com.
Okay, the first thing that I'm looking at, PK, when you're talking about new beginnings, what they're telling me is that your life is kind of went into like the retrograde, okay? Because I get a slowing down. Things aren't going as fast as you want them to, but that was then, and this is now. And it has nothing to do with the retrograde. It was just, a comparison about it. I do feel that what's going to be happening for you is you're going to be breaking out of the old you, maybe something that you have put yourself into. So you say you define yourself as this or this or this. You're breaking out of that old you and you're saying, no, this is who I am, because I see you kind of emerging in a very direct way. So it's like people who are graduating from college, they dabble in, well, maybe I could do this. I could, go into what I'm specialized in, or do this or this or this. They have time. That's what they're supposed to be doing. But with you, they're saying, why even mess with that? Just go and do what you're supposed to do because you're being complete. This is like the last piece of a puzzle. Mm-hmm. All the things that are coming to you, you may have been thinking about it. So in our subconscious, we sit around and we think, well, I wish I could do this, 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 or this. They're asking you to take that blank chalkboard, and you have the chalk. Now put in there, what is the biggest, nearest, dearest thing that you want to do? Anything that is going to bring you peace and harmony in your life is going to be coming out of this. But I see a really big change. This change, though, is not going to be destructive. It's going to be organized, and it's going to be coming soon. And soon, I feel that what you're going to be doing is within now till the end of April. So whatever you're planning on doing, whether this is changing your environment, changing what you do, or how you define yourself, it's all coming, but they want you to direct that path. Sometimes we think, well, I'll just wait and see what the universe has in store for me. No, they want you to say, this is what I want to do for X number of years or X number of months, but I want to experience this. And that's what it's all about, is the experience. Don't think of anything as right or wrong. Just do it. And when you do that, then that's when you aren't holding yourself back. You're giving to yourself and to others. You also have a lot of angels, angelic guides around you. So listen, ask, and then know that they're going to be guiding you and leading you and showing you, here can be this possibility, this one, and this one, based on what it is that you want for your life. So they want you to change your thinking. It's not whatever the universe wants, it's what you want, and the universe will make it happen.
Oh, that's good. That sounds wonderful. That's a rarity.
Get your chalk out. Start writing.
She got that right. I got some of my toes and fingers both. I'm going to 4-time it.
That's a really interesting thing that you just shared, Cassandra, and I think it's right on the money for you, PK.
Oh, thank you, Cassandra.
Right on the money. Yeah.
Just as a tidbit, I've just completed a 9-year cycle, so this is my year of new beginnings and fresh starts.
That's your completion. Yeah, yes. That's your completion. Perfect.
I like what you had to say. I just hope I can stand up and do it right.
Oh, you can. You're already, anything that you do that is 1 foot forward or, putting a toe in the water, it doesn't matter. You're doing it and you're letting the universe know that you're serious about it. It doesn't mean you have to go gung-ho. You just have to say, okay, I'm going to do this. And then, boom, they make it happen. So is there anything you're planning on doing between now and the end of April of this year? Do you have anything yet planned?
No, I don't. That's why I've asked the question. I'm working on a booklet type thing, but I've been doing that for this last year. I just want to wrap it up. But what I want to do, I'm not even sure yet. I know I need to do something progressive and go forward. That's the bottom line.
Well, take the things out of your subconscious and write them down on paper.
Okay.
Because I see you sitting around thinking about it. Maybe you don't, you're not sitting there going, I'm thinking about what I want to do. But there's that part of your mind, your subconscious, your higher self that's going, okay, now what are we going to do now? What is the next stage? What can we do? Because I feel a lot of things for you, and I feel movement. So whether you're going to be traveling, whether you're going to be, I don't feel classes or anything like that. You're just going to be movement.
Making a move from one home to another, or just moving in general?
It could be both, but I feel definite movement, and it could be, where did you say you were in Tucson?
Tucson,
You been there for a while?
Oh, 25, 26 years.
Time. Okay. Movement. Okay. Anything that is going to bring you into a new environment, new people, new like-minded people. And this is not where you sit around and knit. This is something where you're really doing something very metaphysical, very open and not of the norm. Because that's the thing that I see. It's like you don't want to be of the norm. That's not you.
Never have been.
Yeah, you want to be that rebel. You want to be that person that not stands out in the crowd. You don't need people to say, oh, look at you. You just need to know that you're walking your truth. And that's the part that they want you to really focus on. So you're breaking the ties that bind you. So it could be the conditioning, the norms, or whatever you've been doing for X amount of years, and saying you've completed this cycle, and now's the time for you to start the next one. So what do you want to do? Think about the last cycle that you went through, and how did it evolve? Did you just sit around and wait for it to happen? Or did you put some kind of hint out there that you wanted this or this or this to happen?
It kind of went with the waves, one thing brought another thing, that kind of thing.
Okay,
situation.
No, we're not going to do that this cycle.
Oh, good.
This cycle, we're going to stand in front of it, like pretend you're looking at a blank chalkboard and you have the chalk. What do you desire?
That sounds good.
And write it down, my dear. So when you do that, then the universe has something to go on.
Yeah, I think it's important while Cassandra catches her breath here to do that. It's so hard to if you just think something, that's nice, but writing it down seems to make all the difference in the world.
It's funny because that's the second time in 2 days I've been told to write it down.
Here you go.
Uh-huh.
Yep, it's important.
Right on track.
I got to get that chalk out.
Yes, got to get a bigger chalkboard. I can't use the one that's the size of the thimble anymore. Got to get bigger and better.
No, well, Cassandra's going to get some water because she's been suffering from a cold. Poor
bless her heart. So, I thought maybe it was having to read for me made her choke.
No.
Sorry, Cassandra. I didn't mean it.
Got her all choked up and coughing. Yeah. Well, she catches her breath. We're going to go on and talk more about all of these things because especially the ET messages, but that was a wonderful reading she just gave you, PK. I think she was right. So I'm going to encourage you to do this. I'm going to encourage you to write things down. In fact, every time I talk to you, I'm going to ask you what you've written down, okay?
My blackboard will probably say, help.
Oh, well, you know what? It takes some training sometimes. But like she said, you're just coming out of that cycle where, as you called it, the waves took you. Now you've got to start creating what you want.
I like that idea. I would look forward to that taking place.
I'd like to see that for you as well. And all of our audience. I want to see our audience have a great year, great life this year, have their dreams come true. That's why we bring these great guests on.
Oh, so definitely.
Not only can we expand our minds, but we can improve our own lives just the way we want them.
That's the neat thing about it. I think that's the neat thing is the information that we're able to pass on to other people. It's not just a show. It is a part of how you can live a life better.
Exactly. Now, while Cassandra...
Okay, I'm attempting to be back.
Just take time. I'm gonna share a little story with all of you. And this is, again, something I posted on Facebook, on our Facebook page, about an entity, an ET, that we contacted, or contacted us, I should say. We call him the Commander, and he's, I posted his photograph on our Facebook page. You want to see what the Commander looks like, go there and you will see. We were able to get a photograph. And how we did this was we recreated the skull experiment here in the U.S., and this is when Becky Andreasen and Helene Olsen were both alive. Now, the Commander came through a number of times, loud and clear, allowed us to take his picture, and he gave us a message. And the message was, you need to clean up your diet. You need to eat pure foods. You need to let go of toxic things that you're ingesting. Now, he was very strong about it, okay? And Helene got really mad. Becky didn't say anything. And I'm thinking, God, is he talking to me? Because my diet's pretty pure. So I eat organically and, that happy stuff. So anyways, I wrote everything down, sent it back to Becky and to Helene. I didn't really know what their diets were like. I just knew what mine was like. So I was like, mine could probably stand some improvement too. So I'm happy to look at everything that I'm doing or not doing to my own benefit for health. Well, wasn't too long after that, PK, you know the rest of the story.
Right.
Helene developed pancreatic cancer and died within 3 months. I subsequently found out from friends of hers that her diet was horrific. Fried food, junk food, lots of coffee, all the things that encourage cancer and disease. So, plus, let's not forget the smoking. So, which I didn't know any of this. So, Becky also was diagnosed with cancer. Same diet. And same refusal to change the diet. So, the commander knew this, came through loud and clear, and gave a very stern warning about what was to come if we did not follow his instructions and clean up our diets and anything else that we were doing or not doing for our own health. And unfortunately, we lost Becky and we lost Helene.
Right.
So they came from the commander, though. He was the one who tried to warn all of us. And this is what happened.
I started worrying about being your co-host.
Yeah. Well, I said, you better clean up your diet. Just
That's
listen to the commander. But he was very strong. I mean, he was powerful energy, a very powerful being. He's one of the heads of the galactic commander universe, whatever they are, and doing up there. I hear there's a big war going on, and I'm sure he's a part of the team that's working to quell all of this. But it was a very fascinating experience. And again, I had no idea what their diets and, lifestyles were like. I didn't learn about that part of it until much later. So there you have it. And we've got questions galore coming up all over the place. So, Cassandra, how you feeling? You got your voice back?
I have my voice back. I sneezed about 5 times, and I'm good to go.
Hey.
Oh, my goodness.
I was going to say, did my reading do that much to you?
Oh, God, no. I hope not.
No, I'm
because I want to finish something here. When you said that this is like the second time that you've heard that you need to write this down or write something down, when you hear the third time, you best do it.
Okay.
Okay?
Got it.
Because you have all these angelic guides around you. They're the ones that are giving you hints. And most of the time it comes through other people. So when somebody just haphazardly says, you might need to write these things down, or if you get a direct message like through the reading and says, write it down, it's very important that you do it.
I'm starting to hear it loud and clear.
Yeah, and I got to share with you an old Yiddish proverb that illustrates what you're saying, Cassandra. If one person says you're a horse's ass, forget about it. If 2 people say you're a horse's ass, consider it. If 3 people say you're a horse's ass, buy a saddle.
That's a good one, yes.
That very well covered it. I don't think I'm built for the saddle, so I'm going to have to change it.
So write it down. Makes a difference, yes.
Get the horse.
So here's a question for you, Cassandra, from Star Child, who wants to know, do you communicate with these ETs in a similar manner to how mediums communicate with people who have passed over?
Well, if it's a telepathic, I just kind of connect with them. I think about them. I call on them because I know their names. So I just call out to whoever it is I'm talking to. When I do my mediumship readings, I connect with a name. So I'll ask, who is it that this person wants to talk to? So when I connect with that first name, that's how I connect with that. So in a way, yes. It's just that I'm speaking on a different level.
Okay. And here's a question from John. John says, "Hello, ladies. How far out into the universe are these beings communicating to us from? Or is this from a parallel world that shares the same space and time?"
I don't feel that it's from a parallel world. I know what he's talking about. But with the parallel world, that's where I look at it like people who have lost, their loved ones or something. They're right next to us in our world. That's that parallel world, that they're not that far away. But when I'm talking to the ETs, they are in a different atmosphere. So there's a difference. The telepathic communication, isn't constrained by how far it is. It's instant communication. So there's a parallel part of us that's right next to us, where those who have passed over, or those who don't know they passed over, so ghosts, or our loved ones are right there next to us, or animals especially. They never leave us. They're always in that parallel dimension. So in answer to the question, I think there's two sides. So it's a higher length, than just right next to us.
Okay. Very interesting. Now, here's a question for you, Cassandra. Let us know if this is something you can do. Do the ETs have a message for our audience tonight that you can relay? We're going to wait till after the next break to do that, but was that something you'd be able to do, is give a message to our whole audience from the ETs tonight?
Actually, that's one of the purposes when I do radio shows. They give a group message, or whoever is listening. Again, it is not directed towards one person. It's directed to the whole group. So whoever gets this, they'll hear something different. So one person may hear this, another person may hear that. But yes, they do like to do a group message, because it gets it out to those who really, really want to hear this, or they need it right at this very moment. Whatever reason, whether they're, doubting, or whether they are scared, or they just want to know more and more and more, because there's that part of them that is longing, but they don't know what to do. So, yes, in answer to your question, I would be happy to do that, or they would be happy to do that.
That sounds great. So, and when we come back from our next break, that's what we'll start with, everybody. So be sure to be listening, because this is going to be very exciting with Cassandra relaying these messages to us. Now, what about this? I know everybody asks the same question about disclosure. Are the extraterrestrials going to come here and show themselves to us? The government, it's not to the government's advantage to do that, so they've absolutely refused to do it. But what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's not to the government's advantage, because that means that they would lose the control over the people.
Right.
That I, as far as disclosure goes, yes, I do believe that this is going to happen. In fact, I got a message that last September, I felt that it was really going to, they were going to show themselves one way or the other. So last September, it wasn't that it was supposed to be in September, but that's when I got the message. So they haven't given me exact time frames, but it is going to happen. And when I draw their images, that is one of the reasons that I'm doing that too, so people won't be so freaked out when they see them. You know, there's everybody thinks of an alien as like a little gray with big bug eyes, and you know, they're scary, and they aren't. On my website, you can see I have a gallery on there, so you could go through and see some of the images that I have drawn, and these people are not even close to what we've been conditioned to be afraid of. And that is with the government, again, it's the control. So if you ever notice movies, okay, all the movies that regard, that are about the ETs, do you see one that they're here to help us and they're friendly, or do you see them all where they're here to, take our planet away and make us slaves and, the whole thing? It's a control fear issue.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, we have seen, fun movies like ET from Steven Spielberg and Close Encounters, and those are the more positive ones. And then we have Invasion of LA, etc.
Right.
But anyways, well, listen, we are going to come back and talk more about this disclosure stuff. And we're going to hear the message for our audience from the ETs and Cassandra. And also go to the Facebook page, Supernatural Girlz with a Z. Take a look at those stories. Take a look at the picture I posted, the photograph of the commander. It's pretty amazing, I must say. I'm sorry we lost Becky and Helene, but we did get the picture of the commander, and he is there. So check it out, and we will be right back.
Listening to IRN, the Inception Radio Network, Chicago, Illinois.
Hi, Inception Radio Network listeners. This is Amanda. Just a reminder that Inception Radio Network is on Twitter. Follow us at I_R_N and keep up to date about who's on tonight, what interviews they'll be doing, who's guest spotting, what topics they'll be covering. Tweet to us, tweet about us, retweet topics to your friends, and most importantly, never miss a great show again. That's I_R_N.
Have a computer? Is your internet connection down? Don't worry. Use your trusty cell phone or landline and call into our listen line at 401-283-6700 to listen to the Inception Radio Network 24/7. Again, that call-in number is 401-283-6700. For the Inception Radio Network, I am MJ.
My name is Ezra, and I'm from the highend.org. You've heard of medical marijuana, but who can you trust for proper guidance? Here at the highend.org, we have all the information you need. Did you know that scientists have discovered cannabis can reduce inflammation, pain, and spasms? It's helped my patients reduce the symptoms of autoimmune diseases, PTSD, autism, and insomnia. A compound from hemp called CBD is doing wonders for intestinal issues, anxiety, and the nervous system. I sell this compound at thehighend.org. I've worked as a medical marijuana consultant and educator for the past 6 years, and here at thehighend.org, I can help you choose from the hundreds of cannabis strains and products and find the ones that are best for your needs. To learn more about cannabis, schedule a Skype or phone consultation, or to have a CBD product shipped right to your door, visit thehighend.org. That's thehighend, all one word, .org. I'll help make your health high-end.
Hello, Inception Radio Network. Would you like your favorite show to be played again live on air? Well, now the choice is in your hands with IRN's live request portal, an easy way to request your favorite show with a simple click. IRN's live request portal now gives you exclusive access to all the shows. How easy is it? Simply type a show name or a guest name, click request, even write a dedication message, and that's it. Try it now. Simply visit InceptionRadioNetwork.com, click on the live request tab under the show menu. Now playing your favorite show is just a mouse click away.
Are you a fan of Inception Radio Network? Do you reckon it's the best alternative talk radio station on the planet? Well, if you do, head to facebook.com/Inception Radio Network and like the page. Tell your friends, spread the word, and keep listening to the best.
Are you ready for a new experience of freedom and powerful connection? Would you like a positive, effortless change in your life? Then come to CosmicFusion.com, where we offer the most advanced energy clearing and expansion techniques in the world, with a quantum vortex energy to activate your divine blueprint and life's purpose. When your soul leads the way with cosmic fusion and quantum vortex energy, you can break clear of past difficulties and blocks with the power of the source. With cosmic fusion, the source energy does the work for you. It's easy and effortless. Listen to our free meditation right from our Cosmic Fusion website, the Cosmic Code Meditation. Sign up for one of our interactive webinars today. Come to Cosmic Fusion, www.KOSMICfusion.com, to experience an effortless awakening and transformation. Are you ready for an upgrade? Are you ready for a new experience of living in the fifth dimensional magic and powerful connection? Then visit CosmicFusion.com today. CosmicFusion.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to Supernatural Girlz Radio. I'm your host, Patricia Baker, and I think I'm the only one on the air right now. So you guys are just stuck with me while our fabulous producer, Joe Champion at Inception Radio Network, works very hard to get PK and our guest Cassandra back on the air. We are having a great time tonight talking about connection, communication with the ETs. And Cassandra agrees with us. You know, she thinks, same as we do, that there's no reason for the government to disclose anything about the ETs. Hi, Cassandra, you're back on.
I am.
Our audience by myself. And so we agree with that. We think the government will never come clean on this, and it's going to be up to the ETs to do a show and tell and to just integrate themselves into our lives and be honest about it. So there's no more hiding. Wouldn't that be nice? So, PK, you back with us?
Yes, I am.
Everybody's back. Hooray.
Yay.
Good job, Joe. Thank you,
No
Joe.
more dumping, Joe.
We got
Yeah.
So, look, we are ready for a message. Cassandra, are you ready?
I am. So all of the listeners, all I need you to do is just listen to what they have to say. They will come through in the galactic language, so you won't understand it. Some of you it might resonate with you, but just listen to what they have to say and take that part of that and just store it in your heart, because you're listening and you're here for a reason. So after they give the message, they will translate it into English. It will be for those people who are listening. It's not going to be for specific people unless you hear it and you know that that's exactly for you. But that's the way we work it here. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right. And I'm ready. Okay. Shumdeo mehasiumna yesuadium naim bicycle de sinumana. Ukorea mashurea basi nuna. Galama. Lera mashumai. Leila mashuna. Dare makiro mati. Na mati. Era mahimai. Nayashiko na neshite na uzishuna kera shitiro monte lele polo haishi la makila tashita na matila loko shu la manahai lelo bai elo nekaya shite na maishi ere shikum era la piko shite Lela Nukula Nalila. We come to you as a collective, just as you are a collective group also, seeking that which you do not understand or you do understand and giving better meaning to it. Know that we are here for those who want to seek us because we are ready for you just as you are ready for us. All will come when their time is chosen. You will feel this. You will know this. You will know all is working in the direction and in the harmony and the peace that it is to proceed further. For the opening of your minds, your souls, your hearts comes not at a price, but at a thought. Know that we are here for you, and that all of our energy is directed in that path. Okay, that's all they have.
That's enough.
Yes, it is. Quite a bit.
A lot to meditate on. Thank you so much, Cassandra.
Definitely.
And thank you, ETs. That was a very lovely message. And that language, that the galactic language you speak in, that reminds me, and I'm sure, PK, you feel the same way, it's very similar to the language that Becky Andreasen used to speak in.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And, Becky was an abductee, the daughter of Betty Andreasen from the Andreasen Affair, and she also wrote in what she called the angelic language, but it sounds so similar.
Mm-hmm.
Very powerful.
Wonderful. Yeah, they come through in a different, thank goodness they come through as a collective because, you have all these people talking. They have like one spokesperson.
Which is good.
It always helps.
Hive mind, then? Are you saying that they have a hive mind where they're connected that way?
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah. I call it a collective, but a hive mind sounds very descriptive too.
And have you ever encountered any ETs that really didn't like humans, that didn't want to be a part of communicating with us?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that question because I only work with the benevolent ones. There are some that have come in that were not, for the best and highest good of the people that I'm working with, and I just promptly call in the other ones to take them out because I don't work with the malevolent. I only work with benevolent, and that's one of the things that I asked about when I started doing this work, of course. I want to make sure that who I'm connecting with, whether it be, giving readings or doing ET readings, that they are of the best and highest good. And that's one of the things that I always mention before anyone starts this. Always protect yourself. Always put something around you, whether it be you speak it, you put a white light around you. But when you're dealing with the other dimensions, there are some that are just like people. Some are good and some are not so good. So you want to protect yourself from those who are coming in to trip you up.
Yes. Now, we've heard that there are over 80 different races of ETs, at least, probably more. And there is some concern about the reptilians. We hear there's, again, the same thing. There's good reptilians, there's bad reptilians. But overall, I think the reptilians have gotten kind of the bad rap.
Right. And I have drawn some that are of the reptilian race, but they are very benevolent. So they are working for mankind, and that's not their main job, but this is one of the things that they are here to help with. In my book, Star Family Messages, A Mission of Exchange, I have some photos of the reptilian type races. And I want to call it reptilian type because they do have a reptilian look to them. But these people you really want on your side. You know, they come through, and I drew one that looked like a gray, and the people that were looking at it, they go, that looks like a gray. And it's like, well, it's far from being a gray. And this is what, you know, they give me, so you don't have to be afraid of it.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, because we've heard a lot about the good and the good, the bad, and the ugly in the ET world.
Right. Oh,
now,
yeah. And it's true.
Cassandra, if someone would like to contact you and have a private reading, because some people are shy and they don't want to come on the air, they'd much rather just talk to you privately, how do they get a hold of you?
You can go to my website. It's CassandraVanzant.com. There are ways to contact me on there. You can call me. You can email me. Any way that you want to do this, or you could come to my Sedona, Arizona office. So if you want to have an in-person reading, that's fine. If you we do a Skype or a phone reading, it's just as effective, because there is no distinction between that, that energy, if we're right in front of each other or if we're not. That's how you can contact me. And also, if you want to and you feel compelled to, you can join me at my ET Activation Workshop, which is going to be held on the 22nd of January in California, in the Van Nuys area. It is on my website under events. And in this workshop, you're going to get one of my books, 2012 Coming Out of the Coma, for free. And the other one, Star Family Messages, A Mission of Exchange, is what I'm going to be working out of to help show you what it is that you can do as far as connecting to your star family. And if you also want to, join me on my Facebook page. And the Facebook page is ET, that's no periods, just an ET activation workshop, so you can see what's going on there. But I'm really excited about the workshop because Renee Barnett is hosting it.
Oh, yay, yes,
yeah.
Renee's a friend of ours.
Yes, she's
sister in crime here.
I just adore her. I adore her. She's just a wonderful person.
She is.
She is hosting that, and then also in May, we are doing a European ET workshop also. So when those of you who want to go to France, the France area, for the ET workshop, you stay tuned, and I'll have more of that on my website, and we can go from there.
It is exciting. Good stuff, Cassandra. That's wonderful. Just wonderful. Now, let's go back to the ETs and the ability to heal, because in your book you talk about all of a sudden you got involved with healing and people had some pretty miraculous experiences with you and the ETs.
Yeah, they did. And the healing part, again, started with Cynthia Crawford. So apparently they knew that I needed to have a safe person, quote unquote, to begin these things with. And Cynthia had come to me, she called me, and she sounded really off. And she had said that she felt that she had a mini stroke or stroke-like symptoms.
Ooh.
She couldn't. She was talking very slowly and slurred her speech, and she was so upset because she couldn't contact her star family, and she wanted to know if I could contact them for her. So I said, yes, certainly I can do that. So I began, and what happened was, instead of the words coming out and contacting her star family, tones started coming out. And these tones, I call them vibrational, it's a vibrational toning. These tones scan the body, and they also heal whatever it is that is wrong with the body. And when I'm doing this, I don't do this, okay? It just comes out. And I see them in my mind's eye scanning the body. And I'm afterwards, I said, is it in this area that you're having problems? Because they're really focusing on this area. And they said, that's where I could feel this vibration going through. Well, when I did this for Cynthia, I said, I don't know why I did that, but, it just happened. By the next day, she called me, and she was totally 100% back to her old self.
Wow, that was fast.
Yeah, because they had said at the end of that there would be a ship around her, and her people would be watching out for her, and completing the healing that night. And she said that she did. She had to get up in the middle of the night and went to the kitchen and got a drink of water, and she could see that ship out there, and she knew that everything was okay. So there's a lot of things that I've helped people with this vibrational toning to balance them out. Some people they'll go for chakra healings, or to make their chakras come back into alignment.
Right.
And I don't feel that this is working on the chakra system. I feel it's just working on the whole human body system. So I can't say it's a chakra healing. I could just say it's a vibrational tonal, because that's what the word is that they gave me to say. And it works out, pretty well. I had a person in London who was suffering from prostate problems, and I did this vibrational tonal on him. And again, he let me know in about a week that everything was, back to normal, and it was working out excellent for him. So these are the certain things that they've given me. They give me, I never know what it's going to be. It's like I never knew I could do that, let alone, talk in the galactic language to other people, and then do the vibrational healing, and then the pictures, the Star Family pictures that I do, people tell me that they see them because they're not just a regular picture. They have a frequency about them. So they're in essence alive.
You were mentioning in the book that one of the people who purchased one of these Star Family paintings actually felt that it was changing.
Yes.
That was very powerful to read about that.
Right. And there are some drawings that I've done. One, they're called energy beings, the energy beings. And these, when I was drawing them, because I never know what I'm going to draw, I just sit down and I start, with the oil pastels, because that's how I draw them in oil pastel medium. I just sit down with the oil pastels and I start drawing. And I know when I was drawing the energy beings, they're their name, because I got such a great feeling from these. They just emit this energy, and it's good energy. It's happy energy. If you look on my website, I believe I have them on my website in the gallery or on the front page, but they're just so happy and so energetic, and it kind of like clears the room.
That is so wonderful. Now, here is a question from Daria in our chat room. She would like to know, do these messages give us any hint about whether we have everything already on Earth to improve our science, or will it require a foreign ingredient or element from another planet?
Wow, what a wonderful question. Okay.
We got some smart people.
We do.
Yes,
Let
we
me
do.
tell you.
You
throughout
didn't
our
warn me
audience.
about that. This is wonderful.
I forgot to tell you how smart our audience is.
Well, now you tell me. Okay. And I sincerely mean that because this is a very intelligent question.
It is.
The messages, when I'm doing a star family reading, people ask me all sorts of questions. It doesn't matter if it's like, what's my day going to be like tomorrow? Or, this question here, do we have a foreign ingredient or element from another planet? It doesn't matter. I don't know the answer, but they do. So when it comes through and they're wanting to know, do I need to do this or do I need to do that? They'll give you the answer. But, it doesn't matter. Whatever question you have, they will give you the answer because I don't have the answer. They do. It's coming through them. And
so this isn't something, this question that Daria brought up, this isn't something they've discussed with you that we need something from another planet to help us out or we don't. We got everything we need right here.
I believe when I'm hearing this, I feel we have everything here and we can utilize it in a different way. So the first thing that comes to my mind, what I'm seeing right now, has to do with meteors. Mm-hmm. So the meteorites, the pieces of the meteor that we had, I feel it has to do with meteors, and I don't know what that has to do with anything. But when I get a flash in my mind, I just tell what I see. So I feel that we can take what we have, whether it came from the sky or it's here on Earth, and utilize it to improve our lives.
Okay. That's very interesting. Yeah, that's, again, we always are in a state of wonder when it comes to the ETs and their vast knowledge, their vast technology. There's so advanced, so much further along than we could even imagine. So it's always great to ask these kinds of questions to see if there's anything we can find out that would help us here on the planet. And I think that's also the direction Daria was going in with her question. How can we make it better? Do we have everything we need right here? So good question, Daria. Thank you.
What I would encourage Daria to do is, if this is something that not everyone's going to come up with a question like this, to just ask, what is it that I can do or use that's going to help improve the earth or help, Mother Earth and the planet or the people on it, and see what kind of answer or what comes to her, through, her own intuition or through other people. See what happens, because when you ask the question, then you get the answer. It's kind of like a universal law.
Oh, good.
That's nice to know.
Yeah, I'm sure Daria will do that. Ask those questions. We need answers, Daria. Bring them back next time. We want to hear what you found out. Gosh. Now, was there ever information that came in from the ETs that gave you a bit of a start, a bit of a scare that you were startled by, surprised by?
I was surprised when I am talking to, I call them my people, and I'm asking them about things that are going to happen. I am surprised when, of course, seems kind of silly right offhand, but I was kind of surprised when they said that Trump was going to win. So,
see, should have asked PK. She would have told you right then and there.
Yeah,
PK predicted it.
I'm not real political, but for some, everybody was asking, who's going to win, and I ask, and it's like, okay, interesting. Not for one or the other, it doesn't matter, but for someone who has had no experience, as this part, it kind of surprised me. But when I'm asking them, specific questions, like I'm sitting around and I write these things down. So I'll write a question and then I'll write the answer. It just keeps that connection open more for me, because otherwise I hear it in my head and sometimes it goes out of my head.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm doing that, I haven't asked so much, future events or what's going on. They just let me know when it's going to happen. So I really haven't had any real big surprises yet, because I'm working on other people's questions. And when I do that, then, it's all for them. I work on their questions. I, do my psychic readings. I'm drawing and I'm writing another book. So, all of these things that are happening right now are things that I'm supposed to be doing, but I know that I'm going to be getting more and more.
Okay. Yeah. What about earthquakes and volcanoes? We hear the one in Naples is getting ready to blow, and there's been a tremendous amount of earthquakes around the world. Can they give you anything on that real quick before we end the show?
I have heard that there are going to be, again, the anomalies as far as the earthquakes and tsunamis and all that are going to be quieting down. But what these things have done has opened up things that have been covered over. So new things are going to be discovered. So you're going to... These things had to happen in order to, something that's really buried deep. Now is time for it to surface. And how can it surface? Then you have these, natural occurrences that will either sweep them away or crack it open. And these things are going to start coming more and more to light. In fact, if I remember correctly, they just found more, not the sea scrolls, but more ancient papers.
Yes.
And then they've also found skulls, that are alien-like.
Cassandra, we're going to unfortunately have to stop here because otherwise Joe's going to be coming after PK and I tonight.
Okay. I don't want that.
No.
It's been so much fun.
We want to
Thank you for having
so
me.
much. Oh,
Thank you for my reading, Cassandra. That was lovely.
You're welcome.
Yes,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you. And please keep in touch with us about your next book and all your future adventures. We want you back on the show. And in the meantime, everybody, we hope you have a great week. Next week, R.J. Stewart, the master of fairies. He is coming to our show. It's going to be something else. So until then, we'll see you on the Blue Highway. Good night, everyone.
Good night.